Okay, so now we've seen how to factor quadratics, we want to look at a little bit more advanced quadratics. So we want to see how to factor quadratics where you have a number higher than 1 in front of the x squared. So everything we looked at before just had a plain x squared. Whenever you see a plain x squared, you know that the coefficient is 1. Hey, we can start off looking at these kind of the same way. Say I want to factor 3x squared minus 14x minus 5. I know again from fooling that I can kind of just go backwards. I know that my first two terms should multiply to give me this first term here, the 3x squared. Really, I still only have one option. Even though there's a 3 in front of there now, my only option is 3x and x. I know that the last terms should multiply to give me this last term here, this minus 5. This time, though, they're not going to add to give me that minus 14. My 3x is going to get multiplied by the number over here, the outer. This number I don't know yet is going to multiply by the x, and that's what's going to give me the minus 14 when I go ahead and multiply them out. So if I FOILed this, what I have right now, it would be 3x squared, then I plus 3x times a number, plus x times a number, and then plus whatever multiplies together to give me that minus 5. So again, I know that these have to multiply to minus 5, so this is called trial and error. So I'm going to go ahead and do some trials. To get minus 5, I really only have two choices. I can have minus 5 and plus 1. I can have it there. And I can also switch it and have 3x plus 1 and x minus 5. These are my trials. We'll play with the signs in a minute. And I actually want to go ahead and FOIL them out to see if I get the right answer. So we started it. 3x times 3x is 3x squared. 3x times a positive 1 will just be plus 3x. Minus 5 times x will actually be minus 5x. And then minus 5. Minus 5 times 1. So if I add these together, I'll get 3x squared minus 2x minus 5. So this is an error. It doesn't work out. So I'm going to try my other trial. Let's say I had 3x times x again. 3x squared is my first. 3x times minus 5 minus 15x. Positive 1 times x plus 1x and then minus 5. This one will work out. I will have 3x squared minus 14x minus 5, which is what I started with. If my signs are wrong, if I had a plus 14x, I actually would just have to switch my signs. So if you get a wrong sign, you can just switch them. Okay, trial and error is not a bad way of factoring, and if you can do it in your head, it's pretty fast. So we're going to practice a few. If this is making no sense, and just move on to the next video about grouping. But let's try the next one. I have 5x squared plus 12x plus 4. So I'm going to set up some trials. I know that my first set has to be 5x and x. My next set has to either be 4 and 1, and I can switch the order. It can be the 5x with the 4 and the x with the 1, or it could switch and be 5x with the 1 and x with the 4. So I got two trials there. My other set would be 5x plus 2 and x plus 2. There's no sense in switching here because, well, if I switch to plus 2's, it doesn't change anything. Okay, since it's a plus and I'm adding to a plus, they're all going to be plus. So now I can just FOIL out. I really don't even have to FOIL. I don't have to FOIL the first two because I know 5x times x has to give me 5x squared. That's how I found these two terms. I know 4 times 1 has to give me the 4. That's how I found these two last terms. All I'm checking is that the outer plus the inner gives me 12. So the outer, 5x times 1 is 5x, plus 4x, would not give me 12. That would give me 9x. So this is an error. Can do that with the next one. Again, I don't have to check my first two. I'm just looking for the outer and the inner and seeing if it works. So 5x times 4 would be 20, plus 1x would be 21. So again, this is an error. It's not going to work. Try the next one. 5x times 2, and x times 2, 5x times 2 is 10, plus 2x. This would work. That would give me a positive 12. So that would be my factoring. Let's get the next one. Next one is pretty similar. We have, I'll draw a little arrow to show we're coming over a little bit. We have 7x. I only got two options for 7x and x. 4, I got a few more options. I already laid them out. I could have the 4 and the 1, or the 2 and the 2. Okay, I'm multiplying for a positive, so it has to be the same sign. Multiplying a positive has to be the same sign. I'm adding to a negative, so that same sign is going to be minus. Okay, so let's try the first one. 7x times minus 1 would be minus 7x. Minus 4 times x would be minus 4x. That would be minus 11x. So that's not going to work. Don't forget, we should switch them. We should always do both sets. So 7x minus 1 and x minus 4. Again, if you can do this in your head, it's not bad. 7x times minus 4 would be minus 28. Minus 1x would not work. Let's try the last set. We don't have to switch to minus 2 and a minus 2 because they're the same numbers. 7x times minus 2 would be minus 14. Minus 2 times x would be minus 2x. So that one would work. That would add me a minus 16. Okay, let's try another one. Say we have 6x squared minus 7x minus 3. Again, I'm going to try to break it down into some trials. This time I got some options, 6x and 1x to multiply to give me the 6x squared. But besides that, I also have 2x and 3x. Those multiply to give me 6x squared. Okay, with minus 3, I only have one option. I have a 1 and a 3. 1 and a 3. I'm going to want to switch them, so 6x and 3, x and 1. If you do it in your head, you don't have to write out every one, but we're just going to continue doing that real quick. So 2x and 3, 3x and 1. Okay, this time I'm multiplying to get negative. Since I'm multiplying to get negative, that means they're opposite signs. So we're just going to choose a sign. I'm going to go plus minus, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus. Okay, again, I don't have to multiply together my first. I already know that's going to give me 6x squared. I don't have to multiply together my last. I already know that's going to give me 6x squared. Sorry, I already know it's going to give me minus 3. Okay, so I just have to multiply together the outers and the inners. If I do the outers, I'm going to get negative 18x plus 1x. Not going to work, so that's not going to be my answer. Here I would get minus 6x plus 3x. Not going to work, so that's not going to be my answer. Okay, and the next one, I would get minus 6x plus 3x. Weirdly the same thing. Not going to work still, so not going to be my answer. My last one, I would get minus 2x plus 9x. Almost works. That's a 7x. That is very close. Since it's a positive 7x and we want it to be minus, all we have to do is switch the signs. 2x minus 3 and 3x plus 1. And we can check. We can check by foiling. 2x times 3x is still 6x squared. 2x times 1 is positive 2x. Minus 9x would be minus 7x, so that's good. And then minus 3 times 1 is minus 3. Okay, let's check the next one. So if I start off in the next one, I got 8x squared plus 16x plus 6. And 8x has a lot of factors, and 6 has a lot of factors, so I'm going to have a whole lot of trials. I can actually make this a little smaller. On all the other ones, if you see, we didn't have anything we could factor out at the very beginning. here, if I look at this, 8x squared plus 16x plus 6, is there anything I can factor out at the very beginning? And yeah, 2 goes in all of them. I would get 4x squared plus 8x plus 3. This is going to be easier to factor because I got smaller numbers. You're not going to have as many factors. So I'm just going to keep my 2 out to the outside. That's already factored out. And I'm going to work on factoring my quadratic. So again, I'm going to set up some trials. So I will have 4x and 1x. And I will also have 2x and 2x. Plus 3 doesn't have that many options. So plus 3 plus 1, don't forget to switch them. 4x plus 1, x plus 3, and plus 3 and plus 1. Again, since I have the 2x's the same, I don't have to switch on this one. Let's go ahead and multiply out. So 4x times a positive 1 is 4x, plus 3 times 1x is 7x. Not going to work. 4x times a positive 3 is 12. X plus 1 times x would be 1x, so 13x. Not going to work. 2x times 1 is 2x, plus 3 times 2x is 6x, so 8x. Not going to work. So this time, I can't actually factor this quadratic anymore. But this is factorable. I was able to have a 2 on the outside, so I was able to factor it. I just couldn't factor the quadratic. So 2 times 4x plus 8x plus 3 is as factored as it gets. Okay, let's go to the next one. 9x squared plus 6x plus 1. Again, I'm going to set up some trials. I don't have that many choices. I'm going to have 9x, 1x, and I'm going to have 3x and 3x. My other side is going to be plus 1, so it'll be plus 1 and plus 1. Only thing that multiplies with 1 is 1 and 1. And plus 1 plus 1. No sense in switching since it's the same numbers. So I can try my first one. 9x times positive 1 is 9x. Plus 1 would be 10x. That's not going to work. 3x times 1 is 3x. Plus 1 times 3x is 6x. So this is going to work. This is not written in the most simplest form though. So I do want to write 3x plus 1, something times itself, squared. Okay, try the last one, see if we can get through this. It looks a little hard. We got a 10 and a 6, so they have lots of factors. So we're going to have a few trials. So 10x squared, I can rewrite that as 10x and 1x. Let's see, I can also do 5x and 2x. The 6 I can write, and it's a minus 6, so don't forget it's got to be opposite signs. I can write as minus 6 plus 1. Let's see, so I'm going to switch them. 10x plus 1, x minus 6. I could also write it, though, as 10x minus 3, x plus 2, because the 6 can break down that way. So 10x plus 2, x minus 3. Same thing with my 5x and 2x. I can have 5x minus 6 plus 1, 5x plus 1, 2x minus 6. Then I can switch to minus 3 and 2. I'm just choosing minus 3 and 2. I could have chosen 3 and minus 2. We'll switch the signs at the end. So 5x minus 3, 2x plus 2, 5x plus 2, 2x minus 3. There's some of these we can actually get rid of pretty much immediately. You notice at the very beginning, I could not factor anything out. Nothing came out from 10x squared minus 3x minus 6. What that means is that nothing should be able to factor out of any of its factors. So if I look at these factors, factors being the stuff that's in the parentheses here, they're what be multiplied together. If I have any of these factors where something could factor out, then that can't be the correct answer. So right away I can cross out 10x minus 6 here because 2 can divide out. I can cross out my last one with my 5x plus 1, 2x minus 6, because again, 2 could factor out of that parentheses, 2x minus 6. I could cross out 10x plus 2x minus 3 for the same reason, and 5x minus 3 times 2x plus 2 for the same reason. So I got 4 trials already gone. Now I'm just going to go with the last 4, see if any of them multiply out correctly. So first one here, 10x plus 1, x minus 6. 10x times minus 6 is negative 60. That's already going to be too high, so done. Next one, 5x minus 6, 2x plus 1. 5x times 1 is positive 5x. Minus 6 times 2 is minus 12, so it'll be minus 7x. Not going to work. Can try 10x minus 3, x plus 2. 10x times 2 is positive 20. Ooh, it took me a long time. Minus 3 times x is minus 3x. That'd be positive 17, so not going to work. 5x plus 2 times 2x minus 3. 5x times minus 3 is minus 15. Plus 4x is minus 7x. Not going to work. So this is like the one up here with the 8x squared plus 16x plus 6. I can't actually factor this anymore. The difference being this one up here, the 8x squared, was factorable. I could pull out that 2. This one is not. There is nothing I can do to this. So it's going to have an answer of either not factorable, otherwise known as NF, or prime. However you want to answer it. Okay, so we'll learn another way of factoring these next.